Hello, my beautiful, magnificent Aries souls. Welcome back to Astrology Unlocked. I want you to draw a deep, intentional breath with me right now, because what is about to unfold is no ordinary cosmic update. This is a sacred bridge being built just for you in this very moment. If you are hearing my voice, know with every fiber of your being that this is not a coincidence. Your fiery, beautiful soul has guided you here for a reason. There is a message of profound urgency and love waiting to be delivered, a celestial secret whispered from a place beyond the veil, from the one you once called Mom. Have you been sensing it? That subtle yet unmistakable shift in the energy around you. Perhaps it's a sudden warmth on your skin when there is no sun, a familiar scent carried by a breeze that seems to come from nowhere, or a dream so vivid, so real it pulled you out of sleep with your heart racing in a way you couldn't explain. My dear Aries, I need you to listen, truly listen, because what you're feeling is real. This is your validation. The universe is whispering that you are not imagining things. Your mother, from the luminous realm of spirit, has been reaching toward you with a love so fierce it moves between worlds. She can no longer stay silent. A truth she has carried gently in her heart is ready to be revealed, and if you open your brave, beautiful Aries heart to receive it, it has the power to change everything. Now, before you go, I want to ask you something meaningful. Do you remember your mother's birthday? If you do, share it in the comments below and take a moment to send a loving message to the woman who shaped your soul. Whether she walks beside you or watches over you. And if you haven't already, my friend, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our Astrology Unlocked family, so you never miss the messages that are meant for you. This is more than just a video. This is a sacred and intentional healing ritual. It is a doorway that has been opened by love, a portal designed specifically for you to remember the brilliant, untamed fire that is at the very core of your being. Your mother has been preparing this moment for so long, waiting for the perfect cosmic alignment, waiting for the moment your soul would be ready to hear. So, as you settle in, allow the world to fade away. Turn off the distractions. This time is for you. What you are about to hear might bring tears to your eyes, but my beautiful friend, these will not be tears of sorrow. They will be the first cleansing tears of liberation, the tears that wash away the dust of old pains and allow your true light to shine brighter than ever before. Perhaps it's been a long time since you have allowed yourself that kind of release. As a courageous Aries, a warrior of the zodiac, you've likely learned to be the strong one, to mask your vulnerability behind a shield of capability and a brave smile. You are the leader, the pioneer, the one who forges ahead. But your mother knows. She always knew. She saw every single night you laid awake, your mind racing, replaying battles you thought you'd lost. She felt every time a song on the radio struck a chord so deep in your soul, it momentarily took your breath away. She has been with you in every crowded room where you stood, a leader amongst many, yet felt an ache of profound loneliness. She is not here to pull you back into the past, my dear. She is here with a warrior's cry of love to remind you that you are never, ever alone. And today, her message is thundering through the cosmos, loud and clear. The time for silence is over. There are some truths, you see, that if left unspoken, can fester in the heart of a warrior. They can become insidious whispers of self-doubt that make you question your own magnificent power. They can make you believe that perhaps you are too much, that your fire is too bright, that your passion is too intense. They can trick you into thinking that maybe, just maybe, you deserved to be left behind on the battlefield of love. But no, oh my beautiful Aries, that is the greatest untruth of all. Your mother needs you to hear this, to let it sink into your very bones. Every ounce of your fiery, passionate love that you have given so freely was never, ever in vain. Those moments you took the lead and messaged first, the times you bravely offered comfort when your own heart was aching, the way you absorbed the pain and still chose to stand tall. That was not weakness. That was your incredible Aries courage in its purest form. It was the love of a true spiritual warrior, and she saw it all. But there is a crucial piece of the story she never told you, a secret she has guarded until you were strong enough to hear it. She needs you to understand that two heavy, shadowed energies once stood as formidable obstacles between you and the happiness you so richly deserved. One of these energies was deceptively close, a soul who wore the mask of a friend, someone who called you their bestie and stood by your side in public, but in the quiet shadows of their own heart, they harbored a deep-seated envy. They were intimidated by your natural light, your innate ability to lead and to shine without effort. They saw your fire, and instead of celebrating it, they feared it would cast them further into the shadows. Their spirit was one of comparison, a quiet, corrosive energy that sought to diminish your flame so theirs could feel a little warmer. The other soul is one whose face you may not even remember clearly now, but their influence was a powerful current that altered the course of a love you held so dear. This person, my friend, was a master of subtle manipulation. They stood beside the one you loved and masterfully planted seeds of doubt. They twisted your beautiful Aries passion and reframed it as aggression. They took your radical honesty and painted it as a lack of gentleness. They used the softest, most reasonable-sounding words to slowly, insidiously convince the one you loved that your independent spirit meant you didn't truly need them, that your strength was something to be feared rather than cherished. And because of this slow drip of poison, a love that should have been a grand adventure began to feel like a battlefield, and it slowly, tragically drifted away. Your mother witnessed every moment of the aftermath. She saw every sleepless night you spent staring at the ceiling, your mind a relentless battlefield of what-ifs. She heard every pained question you whispered into the darkness. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't my love enough? But the profound truth she needs you to absorb right now is this: you did nothing wrong. You, in your magnificent, full-hearted Aries nature, simply loved with the fire of 1,000 suns, and you offered that brilliant warmth to souls who were living in the cold shadows, unready and unwilling to step into the light. Your love wasn't the problem. Their inability to receive it was. Your mother whispers to me now, a memory from her own journey, and she wants to share it with you. She says, "My dearest child, I too was once like that. I once gave my warrior's heart completely, laying down my sword and my shield for someone I believed was my king. And when they walked away, with a coldness that froze the very fire within me, I sealed my heart in ice. For a long time, I did not understand how someone could turn their back on a love so true. But then, as my spirit grew wiser, I realized a profound truth. Not everyone has the courage to stand in the presence of true love. True love, the kind you give, my Aries, is a brilliant, transformative light. And for souls who carry unhealed wounds, for those who are comfortable in their own twilight, that light feels like an interrogation. It exposes all their shadows, and so they retreat. They run from the very thing that could save them. What shatters your mother's spiritual heart now is watching you, her brilliant, fiery child, begin to doubt your own nature. It's seeing you start to shrink yourself, to dim your own magnificent light. It's hearing you wonder, maybe I should love with less passion. Maybe I should give less of myself. Maybe I should be less me. And that, my dear, is the precise moment she knew she had to break through the veil and speak. Because if you do not hear this divine intervention today, you might continue to walk a path that is a pale imitation of the glorious destiny that awaits you. You might live a life where you are always cautious, always holding back, forever afraid that if you unleash your true, passionate heart again, you will only be broken again. But let me tell you something, magnificent warrior. Look at yourself. You have already been broken, and you are still here. You have walked through flames that would have turned others to ash. You have faced emotional battles that others would surrender just hearing about. Your mother once believed, as you might now, that a broken heart was the end of the story. But she sees with the clarity of the heavens now. A broken heart does not make a warrior weaker. No, for a soul like yours, it shatters the armor you thought you needed and makes you transparent. It is only when the carefully constructed fortress around our heart is broken open that we can no longer pretend, we can no longer hide. And that, my beautiful friend, is the precise moment our soul truly begins to live, authentically and fearlessly. You are the living, breathing proof of your mother's celestial wisdom. A broken heart is not the end. For a child of Aries, it is the sacred initiation. It is the beginning of a soul who has learned to love without fear of the battle. A soul who knows that its love is a force of nature. And today, your mother's message is not just one of comfort, it is a call to arms. It is a divine mandate for you to begin seeing yourself through new, empowered eyes. Not with pity for the wounds you carry, but with profound gratitude and reverence for the warrior who earned them. You bravely walked through the darkness alone. But from this moment forward, you do not have to walk alone anymore. Because your mother is here, I am here, and the entire universe is rising up to support you. We are about to unveil the sacred gift that your mother has been preparing for you all this time. She has waited for this exact cosmic moment for so long. Not because she was angry at those who hurt you, but because her wisdom is infinite. She knew that if you heard these truths, while your heart was still a raw and open wound, you would not have been able to believe them. You would have still blamed yourself. But now, oh now, your soul has matured. It has been tempered in the fires of experience. You are strong enough to listen, strong enough to understand, and most importantly, strong enough to finally stop blaming yourself. She wants to tell you this about that person, the one you loved with such fierce devotion, the one whose cold departure felt like your entire world imploding. That person was utterly terrified of the love you brought into their life, not because your love was flawed or insufficient, but because it was too pure, too real, too intensely alive. Your Aries love demanded presence. It demanded truth. It demanded that they rise to meet you in the light. And sometimes, my dear, a deep, unwavering, courageous love makes an unhealed heart feel utterly exposed. They simply do not know how to receive a gift of that magnitude. That is not your fault. And this is the first sacred lesson your mother implores you to carve into your soul. Do not ever let someone else's unreadiness to be loved define your magnificent worth. You are not too sensitive. You do not love too much. You are simply a true child of Aries, a soul that sees the world's potential for greatness and still chooses to love with a courageous, open heart. And believe me when I tell you, this world is in desperate need of more souls like you, not fewer. If I may share a piece of my own journey with you, I too have Aries energy woven into my own cosmic blueprint. For years, I blamed myself for my own passionate, straightforward heart. I used to think, if only I could be a little cooler, a little more detached, maybe I wouldn't have been left behind. I tried to dim my own fire, to speak in softer tones, to hide my enthusiasm. But the more I grew, the more I journeyed with beautiful souls like you, the more I realized that a passionate, sensitive heart is a superpower, not a curse. It's the engine of creation, the fire of true change. And for those who cannot handle the heat, it doesn't mean I need to become colder. It simply means they are not meant to walk beside my fire. But your mother knows. She knows there are days when your warrior spirit feels weary, when you want to hang up your sword and stop believing in the goodness of the fight. There are mornings you wake up and the fire in your belly feels like nothing but cold, gray ash. There are moments you think, maybe I'll just build a quiet fortress and live there alone. It's safer not to need anyone. But that is not you. That is the voice of your wound, not the voice of your soul. You are the one who smiles at a thunderstorm, feeling a kinship with its raw power. You are the one who has offered words of encouragement that felt like a blazing torch to someone lost in the dark. You are the magnificent soul who knows how to love with the full force of your being, even after being wounded in battle so many times. And because of this, because of your magnificent heart, your mother wants you to learn one more essential truth. Love should not be a prize you have to win in battle. Love is your divine birthright. You do not need to prove your worthiness to be loved. You just need to have the courage to be your full, brilliant, fiery self. And the right person will not be afraid of your light. They will be a fellow warrior of the light, ready to stand by your side and build an empire of love with you. She doesn't promise that the old love will return. That chapter, that battle, is over. But she promises you this: the next person who comes to love you will be someone who is not intimidated by the fire in you. That person will not walk away when you speak your honest truth. That person will not play games and make you guess their intentions night after night. And that person will absolutely not require you to shrink yourself just so they can feel big enough to stand next to you. I was once in a relationship where every time I expressed my passion or a deep sadness, I was told I was being too dramatic or too negative. I tried so hard to be less, to feel less, to speak with less fire, just to seem easier to be around, to keep the peace. But in the end, the thing that broke my heart the most wasn't that they left. It was the devastating realization that I had abandoned myself long before they ever did, just to keep them. I don't want that for you. I don't want any beautiful soul to trade their authentic truth for a love that isn't true. And your mother adds her voice to this, a whisper of steel and velvet. Do not wait for an apology from those who wounded you to begin your own healing. Forgiveness is not for them. It is not a pardon they have earned. Forgiveness is the act of you, my warrior, declaring your own freedom. You are no longer the soldier who collapsed on the battlefield over someone who could not hold your heart. You are no longer the one who feels the need to prove your worth. Now, you are the sovereign ruler of your own kingdom. You are the one who chooses yourself. And your mother, my dear, is prouder of that than of anyone who ever claimed to love you. There is one more thing your mother cannot leave unsaid. A new door, a new portal of opportunity is opening for you. But she whispers this in your dreams, in the subtle signs all around you. She wants you to feel it with your heart, not just see it with your eyes. Because what is coming for you, my beautiful Aries, will not arrive with a thunderous declaration of war or a grand explosion of fireworks. It will be much more subtle. It will be a small message that sparks a fire of inspiration within you. A glance from a stranger that lingers and feels like a deep recognition. A person who randomly says something that makes your inner world go completely still and silent with knowing. Your mother wants to ask you this directly. Soul to soul, do you still believe in the things you cannot see, but that your warrior's heart knows a real ye? If your answer is yes, then this is your moment. This is the time to trust those gut feelings, that powerful Aries intuition. Do not ignore the tiny signs you once dismissed as mere coincidences, because they are not. Nothing is a coincidence when your heart trembles with that quiet, certain knowing. She told me very clearly, with a mother's fierce love, that for too long you said yes to others while screaming no to yourself. You stepped back from the front lines so that others could step forward. You smiled bravely when all you wanted to do was fall to your knees and weep. And during that time, your mother remained silent in the spirit world because she had to respect your choices, your free will. But today, she speaks up with the force of a celestial army. Because if this time you continue to miss the call of your own soul, you might forget the magnificent warrior you truly are. And that, she says, she simply cannot allow to happen. Do you remember the last time you truly, deeply chose yourself? And I don't mean choosing a new hairstyle or what to have for dinner. I mean choosing a life where you don't have to fight so hard just to be loved and accepted. Choosing a community where you don't have to apologize for the intensity of your feelings. Choosing a partner you don't have to pretend to be strong for because they see and cherish your vulnerability as the source of your greatest strength. If you don't remember, then please see this message as your formal invitation. An invitation from your mother, from the entire world of light, declaring that it is time. It is time for you to rise, not to fight another battle, but to finally receive. To receive your own love. To receive the goodness you once thought you didn't deserve. Have you ever pushed away happiness because you were afraid it wouldn't last? Have you ever sabotaged a connection with someone wonderful just because you feared they would eventually leave you anyway? My dear Aries, your mother needs you to know that you are no longer that wounded soldier living in constant waiting for the next attack. You do not have to beg for love. You do not have to strain to be worthy. You only need the courage to believe that the very best things in your life can begin today, in this exact moment, when you dare to stand tall and declare, I choose myself. You know, there are moments in our lives when we feel we've been silent for so long that our voice has been lost and no one can hear us anymore. But the truth is often the exact opposite. Sometimes it is in that profound silence, when we have given up shouting, that our quietest, most sincere prayers are heard the loudest by the universe. Maybe you don't even remember the last thing you truly prayed for because you've grown too weary to keep hoping. But your mother hasn't. She never stopped being your advocate in the celestial realms. She has been speaking your name, championing the dreams you no longer dared to wish for. And I believe this with every cell in my body. The universe never, ever turns away from a plea born of genuine love. It might not come on your timeline. It might not arrive in the packaging you expected, but it will come precisely when you are brave enough to open your warrior's heart and finally receive it. I used to think that forgiving others was the hardest part of the warrior's journey, but I've learned that the hardest thing, the final boss battle, is forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for loving so fiercely, for trusting so bravely, and for hoping for so long. I used to blame myself for not being more guarded, for not seeing the red flags sooner. But now I understand. We are not weak because we loved with all our might. We are simply the courageous ones who refuse to shut down our hearts too soon. And that is never, ever wrong. My dear, I have had the honor of connecting with so many souls on this path. Strong, independent, successful people who can conquer the world. But when it comes to the matters of the heart, all they truly wish for is for someone to look them in the eyes and say, "You don't have to try so hard. Your fire doesn't scare me. You are loved exactly as you are." They, just like you and just like me, simply want someone who understands their soul without needing a long logical explanation. And your mother is the first soul who ever understood you that way. She saw the brilliant light in you even when you could only see your own shadows. She believed in the softest, most tender part of your warrior's spirit, the very part you may have once despised, thinking it made you weak. But your mother said something to me that still brings tears of pure love to my eyes when I recall it. She said, "It is that soft, tender part that is the most beautiful and powerful part of my child. Because they have known pain, they know how to love fiercely. Because they have been broken, they refuse to hurt others with the weapon of indifference." And she begs you, my dear, never to forget that. That vulnerability is the source of your divine power. There is a truth I always carry with me, a sacred reminder I want to gift to you now. Every time you survive a pain that could have shattered you, the light within you becomes more concentrated, more brilliant. Every time you choose forgiveness, you are healing a wound not just for yourself, but for your entire ancestral line. And every time you choose kindness and courage, especially when no one is watching, you are making the entire universe just a little bit brighter. That is why your mother never stops reminding you. You did not come to this earth to live a small, cautious life. You came here as a pioneer, a leader, a way-shower. You came to awaken yourself, and in doing so, to awaken all those who have lost their way in the dark. So if today you feel like you have reached your absolute limit, if you feel like you are standing on the edge of a vast, unknown wilderness with no map, your mother wants you to remember this. It does not matter what you have lost. What truly belongs to you, through the heart, through the light, through pure courage, is now beginning its journey back to you. And this time, it does not come in the form of a challenge or a test. It comes in the form of a sacred gift you have long, long deserved to receive. My dear, beautiful Aries, if you are still here, still listening to these words, then I want to send you a wave of pure love and respect from my heart to yours. Because I know that only the most courageous of hearts dares to listen this deeply. Your mother is smiling from her place in the stars too. She says, "Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for choosing to live, even on the days you couldn't see a reason. Thank you for beginning the journey back to yourself." And I, with all the love and admiration one soul can send to another through this screen, also want to thank you. Because you have proven that you don't have to be loud to be strong, and you don't have to be understood by everyone to keep loving with an open heart. As long as your warrior heart still beats, there is always a chance to begin again. Not from scratch, but from the deep, wise place where your true self is finally